Oh God.
Oh God and baby Jesus. Johnny, did you want one of the new Magic Bands so you can talk about it? Oh, you're so good.
I'm updating James's.
Oh, that's right. Everything's fine.
And we are live. What's up,
Okay.
guys? Welcome to the Quick Diz Takes podcast, episode number 91. It's been a long time. I am your host, Tim LeBeau, alongside Mr. John Castano
Oh, hello.
and Mrs. Sarah Castano.
Hey, howdy, hey.
I believe actually, hold that thought. Mr. Stephen Lanzi has joined us
Yes, sir.
in real time. Let's let him in. I was going to say joining us in a little bit will be Mr. Stephen Lanzi, but here he is joining us live at the top of the show. Stephen, welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, friend.
We are literally just doing the introductions. I was about to say Stephen will be joining us a little bit later, and there you are. So here we are.
Hey, you ask,
You know,
What are your other two wishes, Tim? Sorry.
joining us in a little while will be a check for $10 million written to Tim LeBeau.
That'd be
I
great.
didn't get too greedy, just $10 million.
Yeah.
It's
only 4 after taxes.
So it's been, I don't know, I'll take it. It's been a weird, long summer and, mostly my fault. So I apologize to the listeners out there. We were just discussing different ways we can stay on top of this a bit better, mainly me. So we will figure something out.
A good thing that's happened this summer is that, my alopecia is really kind of making a nice little trek around my face. So that's always good.
See, catching up with
See?
Steven's
Look at
alopecia.
I got California in my beard.
Yeah, I was going to say Band-Aid, but good enough. Yeah, so, we're back tonight and subscribe, share with friends. I promise I will do better. I will do better at some point. It may still be a bumpy road the next few weeks, though. I am going to give a heads up because Sarah and Johnny have vacation coming up. I have vacation. I'll be heading down Disney too. So
I have no life.
let us bump along this road a bit.
Yeah, your plan showed up in our My Disney experience because we're still linked from a couple of years ago. I was like,
yeah, Johnny was.
We're not there in September.
So just really quick, all 3 of you are going to Disney soon.
But not at the same time. Well, Johnny and I at the same time. Yes.
Right? Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to Disney. You're going to Disney.
It's like Oprah.
I'll be at the Dunkin' Donuts in Apponaug.
Now this
Signing
is the one that's
autographs from 3 to 6.
closest to your
All
house.
you QDT fans. Now, it's I've been boggled up this summer. I'm not gonna lie. No excuses. Just that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But hey, things happen, and that's just the way it's gonna be. It wasn't as bad as my health hiatus that Johnny and I took into 2020. So that was a bad one. But I mean, that was a really legit excuse. So
Right.
well.
This was me harping like Tim.
Yeah. But let's stay positive. We're still on episode 91. We're closing in on 100, even though we've gone way past 100, generally speaking. But for our intents and purposes, this, specifically the core show, we are knocking on 100's door. That's a big deal because not many podcasts get there, and we have it in our sights. I was actually listening to our last episode the other day and laughing to myself because it was like, we have it in our sights. It's not even a matter of if, it's when now. And it's like, yeah, and unless you don't podcast for like a month and a half.
My news notes last were written in May. So I had stuff from May and I'd add stuff from early June. Then in July, I was like, let me just sprinkle in some updates. And I was like, and here we are. Oops.
And here we are. Lots of things have happened. So you know what? This is freeform podcast today.
Freestyling.
These guys just got back from Disney not too long ago. With minimal spoilers. well, I don't know if Steven really cares, but you can't really spoil it for me. But Guardians of the Galaxy thoughts.
Holy
Good.
smokes.
Good. Bad. I mean, what's good about it? What's bad? Is there anything bad about it? What's
Don't
the
go
deal?
on it.
What's
You
the
don't-
dealio, Johnny?
Don't go on it. Don't
Sarah?
get don't get boarding passes for it. Don't pay for it. It's horrible.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time,
Yeah.
Johnny.
Don't go on it so I can get an easy boarding pass for it.
Our only negative was don't do it back to back, because then I feel like Johnny and he doesn't do spinny things. We ended up doing it by a twist of fate. I must have like the magic touch with the virtual cues. I got us a pass, and then he had purchased a lightning lane for it. And just the way the timing panned out, we ended up kind of doing a back to back, and he did not have a very happy stomach following it, but it was amazing. Amazing. And I mean, we'd avoided spoilers. I haven't actually seen any of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I know. However, as a standalone attraction, everything tracks. You were given backstory. So even if you haven't seen the series, you don't know anything about it, the little pre-show gave you enough that you needed to know. And it was just enjoyable. I mean, I'm delightful.
This was Florida? Florida,
Yes.
California?
Florida.
Epcot.
So what was, or was this Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't remember.
Cosmic Rewind. So this is placed between Test Track and Mission Space.
So nothing got remade.
Mm-mm. Nope,
No,
this is
It's
just
where,
a re.
it's where
not a
Ellen's
reskin.
Energy Adventure was. So they used
Fair
they used her building for
Yeah,
a queue, and then you launch up into another show building. So it's like an indoor coaster.
Okay.
But it's amazing.
Okay.
It does not go upside down.
It plays rock music.
It doesn't go
But
upside
it's
down. It does
amazing.
not spin you
On the
completely
top.
360.
It does not.
Yeah, let's
just-
talk intensity while we're on
It
the
just
topic.
kind of turns you to what you need to look at.
Because Johnny and I were talking at the parade the other day very briefly about the intensity of this ride, and I've heard many people talk about it, but I feel like sometimes Disney fans can be a little all over the place here. It's like, I think we should all have a general consensus on the intensity of this thing. I mean, I watched this one episode of some podcast, or I'm sorry, vlog, where someone was like, it's a 9 out of 10 in intensity. And then the other person's like, it's a 3 out of 10. And I'm like, so what's the deal with this thing? Is it like, so it's inside, so it's, akin to Space Mountain in that sense. What is it?
It's a dark
thrill-wise?
ride indoor coaster. Have you been on Alien Swirling Saucers?
Yes.
Okay, Lindsay, you haven't been to Toy Story Land yet, right?
I've been there, but I haven't been able to do a lot of rides.
How do you do on scramblers? Like if you went to like Canopy Lake or Six Flags or something, and there's a scrambler.
Oh, old school scrambler?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I can do that. Is fine. The
You'll
only
be fine.
honestly, the one ride I can't do, you're gonna laugh
Teacups. Yeah.
because of the
This.
Like,
Oh,
the
I
constant-
refuse.
There's
Like,
nothing,
I
there's
can
nothing
do
wrong
the-
with that.
I don't
So-
even want to go. I don't even want to go near them when I'm there. Walk around.
I
can do
would
the Music Express. Like remember the old
Music Express.
ride?
Yeah. And circular and background.
That's fine because it's kind of like driving around in a circle.
Yep.
But the
The constant circular.
Yep.
So the way that
I'm with you on that.
I avoided all spoilers. I didn't watch any of the ride throughs on Guardians. So it was like a complete revelation being on it. And that's what I would kind of akin it to, is it's almost like a scrambler where you're going forward and then every once in a while, or Alien Swirling Saucers that like whip around gets you. But it's not like teacups where it's constant motion. You'll spin and you'll kind of rotate with it, but it's not going to ever get you where, like Johnny said, there's no full 360.
So how about the launch? Is it intense? Is it a gradual launch? Is it like an Aerosmith launch?
It's Aerosmith backwards.
It's like a,
and it
like a
doesn't
pinball
like-
machine backwards.
Yeah, it doesn't like.
Does it take off as quickly as Aerosmith though? Like is it as like
I don't
boom?
think I don't think it's as fast, but you're watching the story starts.
Right
I
away.
mean, the video type thing starts as soon as you leave the station, so you're looking at a video, so you kind of know when you're gonna. There's no countdown like Aerosmith, but it's like you can tell what's going to happen, and it's not like you shoot off and then shoot up a hill or something. It's kind of more.
Backwards in kind of a corner.
Yeah, and it's
Turns.
more. I don't think it's any like there's no drops like bigger than like Slinky Dog, and it's more like how Space Mountain is more like round going around. It's more like gradual going around big turns. The track goes in big turns and it's turning you to what they want you to look at. But you can, if you turn your head and look, the tracks are kind of lit up. It's lit up enough where you can see the track in front of you, and it's more like big circles almost, and it's just back and forth.
So a lot of people have posted their pictures from the launch because there is an in-ride photo right at the launch. And then girls who wear their hair down because it's a backwards launch, they look like Cousinette. And I don't know if you can tell, like I had, oh no, the green screen thing. I had my hair up, so you can't really tell. But like, if you notice, the boys almost look like they're pushed back because it's a backward launch.
The kids don't look very frightened.
No, this
No.
was our first ride through. The second
No.
one, they were even more
No,
excited.
They had no complaints whatsoever. They were like, they didn't know that we could get right back on it right away. So they were like excited that, oh, do you want to ride it again? And like,
We got off the second
We
time.
were
We let's do the
actually-
third time.
we can go on it again because we had the things, but yeah, it's just that if you get motion sickness, just you could get sick, but it's not
All right, so put it in
It's just
a
with the-
so
with
like
the
rank it
double.
like
the double.
what's the
time.
most intense ride at Disney? Aerosmith, I guess. Is that fair?
Yeah. As far as a coaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then what? Everest?
yeah,
And then this?
probably just
I would guess,
because-
yeah.
just because it's longer than Slinky, but it's akin to Slinky.
Oh, wow, really?
I think it is.
Even with the launch, huh?
You can
So,
get
so
through.
is the launch similar to Slinky's then?
No, it's faster than
No,
Slinky.
it's faster.
It's a lot faster than Slinky, but it's a little slower than Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, I think it's like 5 miles an hour slower or something. But I was watching videos. That's why I was asking. Like, it just looks like the launch is more gradual than Aerosmith's. What I mean by that is like top speed is similar, but Aerosmith.
Yeah, and it's also because
I haven't been
Aerosmith,
on
you-
it, but I just
you
watched the video.
it feels different because Aerosmith, they shoot you into that tunnel. You're in a wide open room
Yeah.
when you do the launch too. So because like whatever I didn't watch any ride throughs, but I knew they were gonna be stuff to watch. I thought it was gonna be more. It's gonna focus you on this one section and be something in front of you to watch. But I mean, like what it focuses you on is
Everywhere.
the whole room. Like what
Mm.
it's huge. What you're looking at, what they want you to look at, and then this. I mean,
And if you haven't
the story.
gotten any spoilers thus far, and like I was able to avoid until maybe a week and a half before we went down that it was a reverse launch. I had no idea. So going out, that's literally the only piece of information I knew about it. When they set you up for it, the screen that's in front of you, like Johnny said, the story they set up for you is in front of you. So you feel like you're going to be launching forward like every other. And I think that's why it doesn't feel as fast too. It's that more gradual is because you feel like you should be going forward, but yet you're going away from that. But
Yeah.
it is
some,
fantastic.
There's some practical things in it, like there's planets that are really there. You know, just the
Planets.
screen projected planet things, but
Yeah.
it's just a quick. Like the story seems like it should take longer to. You know, it's a ride, so they have to get from the bad to the good
Yeah.
quickly. So, but it's
And there are 6 different songs that you could get. It's almost like you want to collect them all. So we had September. And what was the other one? I can't think of it right now.
I don't know.
I said I didn't need to write it down because it was a good song and I wasn't going to forget. And I clearly,
It was
it was like a disco type song. Did you write it down on your phone? I think you did.
There was there's
it's not the Gloria Stefan song.
yeah, there's Conga.
Yeah, it's not
there's
Conga.
Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
I'm waiting at that one. I swear you wrote it down, Johnny.
I did, but I don't know where I wrote it down.
Not helpful.
I can get it quick.
There's Disco. Isn't Disco Inferno?
I
one
feel
of
we
them?
had Disco
It was
Inferno.
That's what it
We had
was.
Disco Inferno the first time and then we had September. So you have,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're all like the same length of song to get
Here we
through.
go.
And it's,
Yeah, Kong, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I Ran by Flock of Seagulls, and One Way or Another,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which is also an
having, and we were lucky because a lot of people who wrote it back to back said they got the same song. But even with the different songs, it adds a different I mean, it's the same track, but you're getting different soundtrack to it. And it just adds a different flair, I guess. I don't know.
I think music on roller coasters is
Fantastic.
yeah. They should do it more often.
This is an Epcot, correct?
Yes.
So is this ride?
Edutainment.
I was going to ask, did you go on the ride before or after the drinking around the world?
Oh,
Before.
Okay, that's smart choice.
We didn't do a full drink around the world this time.
Yeah.
'Cause we were
So-
only there a couple of days.
Just as kind of like a back it up, we had a weekend in Disney, and then we went on a cruise with some friends from another podcast, and then we did another weekend to kind of bookend the trip. So this was like a greatest hits. We didn't hit all, like Johnny doesn't like France very much, so we didn't get a drink there. Like we hit our favorites.
Well, wow. Well, I didn't know that we were allowed to see other podcasts. That's
I didn't know we had an open podcast relationship going right
I
now.
didn't know that either. I thought we
We're
were.
poly podcasterous.
I thought we had an exclusive podcast relationship, but apparently some people like
I'm taking
to,
liberties.
like to sample more from the buffet. So
If it helps,
Oh, there was a buffet.
there was lots of buffets.
See?
If it helps, our friends from the other podcast enjoy our podcast as well, if that helps. And one of them, the host of him, he was a little inebriated that night, but told me that he has us on his subscribed to podcasts.
oh, I guess Tarzan's not the only one swinging around here. So.
Johnny loves Tarzan. He loves it. Tell him how you
Just
really feel,
also,
Johnny.
and the ride too, when you get into the second room, stay to the right.
Yes.
Get all the way to the right because it's one of those like,
Your recipe, Tim.
it's
I
one
had
of
to
those,
get, I had to give him a late one.
it's one of those rides where you're in a line, then you're in a group, and then it door opens, and then it's kind of like Haunted Mansion. When the door opens, it's a free for all. So you want to get to the right.
So there's like pre-show. Yeah.
There's 2 pre-shows.
Yep, Sarah, you're very correct about that.
Sorry. I did remind you.
But we are live, so I can fix it later.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was, just by luck, we happened to get a boarding pass for like the first, like the 7 a.m. drop. And then he had a paid one for 11 something. And just the way that the boarding groups ran, because it was down for a little bit, it ended up just being back to back. We had that window in the morning. So, but I could see, like, if you had a couple drinks and you'd be all right. You might not feel amazing, but you'd be all right.
No, I think you should drink around the world. It should be a challenge. And then you
honestly,
and you launch from Earth out into outer space. And blow
I would
chunks.
I would venture a guess that if you've had a drink or two of the same beverage, meaning if you have a couple of beers,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. Glass of
Right.
wine, you'll be fine. But if you're doing the whole,
If
slush
we're
punch
doing the world
beer,
showcase,
where you're mixing and matching margaritas with beers and everything else, I would probably recommend it. Against that,
yep, I would not. I would happily take your place in that queue, but I would not recommend it.
oh no, I'm going.
Doing it.
Going all in. Around
I
the world and out into the cosmos.
I don't care if I got to be carried on, because I got to be honest with you. It's been so long since I've been there now because of everything
Yeah.
that I have no idea. Like the experience that I remember is completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different. Last I remember is I would go to the airport and put a yellow tag on my luggage. Guessing they don't do that.
Not anymore.
No, that's Gonzo. Anything good that you remember? Like privileges? They've taken them
Okay,
all.
so-
They've taken them all away.
Let me get this straight. I land in Orlando. I have to get my own luggage with the rest of the riffraff.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Yep.
And you have to arrange your own transport
But you
So-
don't pay any
Because-
less. You don't pay
Right.
any less though.
because, and this was something that did happen in the news, and I don't know if you guys heard about this. The federal government gave a couple $1 billion. I want to say close to 13. I could be wrong, but gave federal money for this Brightline line, that train's supposed to connect into Disney Springs. And then like 4 days after, it could have been even less, announced that the Brightline stop at Disney Springs was no longer happening. so Brightline, you're not even gonna like, not that they were even close to starting construction on that stop. It's just not happening at all.
So,
So the train is
besides-
out.
So besides Uber and Lyft,
There's Mears Connect, which is the company that did Magical Express. They're just flying under their own name now instead of flying for Magical Express. And then there's Sunshine Flyer.
how much is the bus?
I think it's 16 per person, one way for adults. And then I think kids are 12
I
one
think
way.
they're 15. I think it's
15.
only- I think
What's the
it's only
sun thing?
Sunshine Flyer, similar.
It's the same
um,
price, I think.
We had never used Sunshine Flyer until this past trip. They had a promotion where if you book before July 31st, regardless of when you traveled, that kids under, I think it's 9 and under, road free. The only time they were eligible with our flights was one flight. So their first, like they start for the day at 7 a.m. So if you come in before 7 a.m., they will not get you. And I think their last, they leave the airport at 10 p.m. So like our flight came in at 10:15. We were on our own. So they're much more limited in when they're available. Like Mears is just let us know when you come in and we'll be there.
Yeah.
And we've never had it. We've used them a couple times already. Marathon earlier this year. We used them this trip. Like we've never had a problem
No,
with Mears.
It's the same exact thing. It's just Magical Express. You just pay for
Yeah.
it now.
You're just taking that wrap off. the
Sunshine
bus.
Flyer, the buses were just newer.
Yeah,
And-
they
and-
are newer. They have like the
Nicer.
DVDs, more like a coach bus.
Yeah, I'm assuming they don't play
Yeah.
the whole "Welcome to Walt Disney."
No,
assuming
play
they
their
don't.
own-
No, they
play
have their own
thing.
version of it.
They were playing cartoons and stuff, but it was
Yeah. But they are much more limited in their pickup and drop off availability. But similar service, the vehicle itself was fine.
You
The
take
driver
it,
was fine.
will it take you to any resort?
Yep.
Yep. Disney Resort, and then you just when you book them online, there's a little drop down. You pick Disney area, and then you put in which resort it is. So normally, like we did a round trip, and normally they pick you up and drop you off in the same spot. And we actually did 2 different All Stars. So we stayed at one All Star before and one after the cruise. So it was just very in the notes section. I just made note of it, and they were fine. So
So bring money.
Well, that's good information for anyone like me who hasn't been in a while and is going to experience Disney.
you need to book your flight, your shuttle, your hotel, your tickets, your park reservations, your ADRs. Then the morning of, you can pick your Genie Plus and Lightning Lane, and then you need your shuttle and flight home. Lots, yeah.
simple.
Okay,
Like
the,
click and
military,
go.
Worry free.
the military doesn't have that many acronyms. What?
Your
All right.
ADRs, your advanced dining reservation, which is no longer 180 days. You're just 60 days now.
Huh.
I know. So you don't have to worry about dinner
6 months.
several
ago.
months from now,
Right.
just 2 months from now. I don't know what I want for dinner tonight, let alone 2 months from now, but you figure it out quick.
Better than 6 months from now.
Mhm.
Okay. So, the morning of is when you choose your fast pass.
You're paid for fast passes, yes. Your
Paid for.
Genie Plus and Lightning Lane.
That's
If you
better.
stay on property, and we can go over this later too, but
Yeah.
if you stay on property, you can do it at 7 a.m. If you are staying off property, it's whatever time your park that you have reservations for opens that
You
day.
also have to pre-purchase your Genie Plus before 7 a.m. if you're going to do Genie Plus, but you can book Lightning Lanes at 7 and do not have to have Genie Plus.
Like,
Also, they did change.
If you're on property.
Yes, they did change too. So until I want to say
I
it was
think-
August 1st,
Yeah, yeah.
you
Lightning
could
Lanes.
pre-purchase your Genie Plus for your trip. So say we were going marathon weekend, we wanted to buy our Genie Plus ahead of
Sure.
time.
for
You
every
can no
day.
longer do that.
For every day you had to though.
Right. You had to do it for every day of your trip, but now you can no longer do that. Now it's across the board. You buy it that morning. On property, 7 a.m.
Right.
Off property, the
I
time
think
that your
it's
park
after
opens.
midnight you can
So that I
purchase
get.
Genie Plus, but you
What-
can't
what-
make your reservation till 7.
So there's a difference between Genie Plus and Lightning.
Genie Plus is Fast Pass.
Okay.
Lightning Lane is just one. The 1 or 2 rides that are only paid for are not included in the Fast Pass. So your premier ride,
Your
Like-
e-tickets. So
like
you can buy
Guardians-
those.
Guardians of the Galaxy is by
Got 'em.
itself. It's not part of the $15 Genie Plus. Everything else was part of that.
And you can decide to purchase just your e-ticket and not Genie Plus. Your head is
Money.
on fire now. I can see
But
the
I will
smoke.
say the lightning.
If I
lane,
had hair,
it was
it'd be
easier
on
to get
fire.
Guardians than anything else.
Like they
If you didn't get it
literally,
at 7, you could get it at 1. No problem.
It's like a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm so sick of tears. I'm so sick of tears. Everything has a tier to it. Well, for this price, you get this. For this price, you get that. Like
I am too, but listen, someone brought up this point. Your tickets have tiers. You have the base ticket, you have the hopper, you have the annual pass, you have your DVC, which is options. Your hotels have tiers. Your value, your moderate, your deluxe, your like everything else has tiers. And then we have these tiers.
but now you're talking about the rides, like the reason that we're there. And now it's, you're changing things day to day, which maybe that makes it more fair. But now you also have, well, the regular rides like Peter Pan, that's fine. That's a regular Genie Plus rather than a Fast Pass, because why would we call something exactly what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's just make it as complicated as humanly possible. $1 billion company can't call something what it is. And but these really special rides, the ones that you probably really want to do, yeah, you're going to have to cough up a little bit extra money. Disney had a bad year last year. They only made about $20 billion rather than the $25 billion that they typically do.
And the one ride was more expensive than the Genie Plus all day.
And I was surprised that you don't have to buy Genie Plus to get the e-ticket, which I figured was going to be a prerequisite.
It was $17 per person to ride Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's $15 for the whole day per person for Genie Plus.
Oh, man. Let's give that a laugh.
So I did it one time just to make sure I got in the ride, and I will never do it again. But
Johnny doubted my virtual queue.
I didn't doubt it. It was an opportunity to ride it twice. That's what I said.
If you're by yourself, $17 for one ride is a lot easier to swallow than $17 for a family of 4.
But we didn't. That's the only thing we bought. We didn't buy Genie Plus any days, and we still got on. We still got on rides. You waited a little longer, but even July, and it was busy. Most of the wait times were not outrageous. Most of the wait times were inflated. Still,
we went the weekend after 4th of July for context. The
we still
10th and 11th, and then
we still got on Rise the Resistance. We waited right before it closed. They put the time at a half-hour wait, and we waited 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Genie
that's the way to do it.
Genie Plus is $15 per person per
for the
day.
whole day. Yep.
Whole day. How many fast passes do you get?
One at a time.
One at a time. So
if that fast pass, if you get it and the reservation isn't for 3 hours, you can book another one in 2 hours. Or as soon as you ride the ride, if it's less than 2 hours, you can book. As soon as you scan in, you can book another.
Yeah.
So you scan in, and then while you're in line, you can stack your next one.
So you could, if you were staying if you're staying on property at 7 a.m., if the park doesn't open until 9, you book a pass for 10 o'clock. And then as soon as 9 o'clock rolls around, you can book one. And so you already have 2 right away. And then as soon as you
can stack them.
Or you book them way late in the day and you just book every 2 hours. You stack them for all the end of the day.
I can see that.
Not a fan.
I can't see that for every park.
I still wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
I would get at least one.
He used to just give me 3 fast passes every day. I just go and have them, and I used to manipulate that.
And once I used my third one, then I could make another.
I would only buy it for Magic Kingdom. I wouldn't buy it for any other park.
Yeah.
Just because there's enough rides in Magic Kingdom to sustain it, but throughout the other parks, there's not enough to.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Plus, they say that when it's slower is actually the better time.
Yeah.
To buy Genie. So everybody's, it's really busy. It'll make more sense to buy Genie Plus, and it actually works against them. But I did have someone, another agent had posted in one of the groups that I'm in, that Disney has revealed. Originally, they had these higher, like Frozen Ever After, Ratatouille. They were included in the regular Genie Plus. And originally, when they were added, it was only supposed to be until the 7th of this month. And then they just announced that those rides will stay in the regular Genie Plus instead of going back to Lightning Lane. So I can post those in the Facebook group with the 3 parks that I do have. It's Magic Kingdom, Hollywood, and Epcot. But those higher rides that you would think.
Because it used to be two rides per park or Lightning Lane.
But now they have more. So, yeah, it's exciting. It was supposed to be Space Mountain, Ratatouille, Frozen Ever After,
Yeah.
Expedition Everest, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
But they're not adding those to Lightning Lane, right?
No.
So it's
They were
just
I
the
got that
one-
part.
It's just the one Lightning Lane of Park now.
Yes,
It's
that's
it's
what I. All right,
Rise.
Yep.
that's what I was. That's where I was at. Johnny.
Cosmic
I got
Rewind.
confused there for a second.
So it was
I
expected
don't know
because
if the
they
other two are.
announced August. They'll be in the Genie Plus through August 7th. So it was anticipated they were going to revert back to Lightning Lane, but they're just
Yeah,
going to
'cause
stay on.
It was the two, but now it's only the one. Well, what's the one at Animal Kingdom in Epcot? No, I mean Epcot's
Epcot is Guardians.
What's
So-
the one at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom? Is Everest a paid at Animal Kingdom?
It just said Everest is staying on
So
Genie
what's the-
Plus.
What's the paid? Oh, Flight
Is
of
it
Passage.
Flight of Passage?
Flight of Passage.
And then
what's-
paid is
what's
Seven
the-
Dwarfs at Magic
oh,
Kingdom.
Seven Dwarfs.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's so
I wouldn't pay 50 cents to ride that ride.
no.
Nah, fam. Also, I sent you guys earlier. Did you appreciate the guests were stuck on Small World for over an hour?
Dream
Are
come
you
true.
So glad that it was
So, I was jelly.
gelling like Magellan.
That's probably, I mean, no matter what ride you could possibly get stuck on for an hour, it's going to get boring really quick. But you add in
That song.
that song. I mean, there has to be a button to mute it.
I didn't read the article. I just
I
saw
hope
the
there's
headline
not.
and sent it. I hope they shut the music off
They'd have.
for everyone involved.
I mean, that's like against the Geneva Conventions at that point. To be stuck on that ride for an hour.
Cruel and unusual punishment. Oh, show.
Sometimes it's rough at the end of Pirates when it's all backed up there and it's the Johnny Depp scene with the parrot. That goes too many times. It's rough.
Although I don't know if I'd rather be on that ride for an hour or stuck in a tiki hut.
You guys.
We're back.
We
I
did
knew-
not go see it this trip, Lansy.
I'm going. I'm in.
I'm telling you, it should
I'm gonna
be.
buy a Lightning Lane
We
for
did
it.
purchase the Tiki Room ornament though.
Is that even we did? Is that even on the list? Tiki Room among the attractions?
No. Oh, it's a show.
Not you,
Should be
banana
on any
head.
list. It's on no list. It's not even on the app anymore. All
It's
right,
not on the renovations
Right
list.
people.
This
go
is
like-
our one. Look how cool it is.
people walking on that. By
Show the
accident.
backside. Look at you, little
I'm telling
tiki
you,
guys.
they
It looks-
could make
it
a
looks
really
nice.
cool
That's awesome.
bar restaurant that is tiki. You know, the whole thing.
And they have the Haunted Mansion.
Or-
They can. It's called Radio
Ooh,
Mar.
I'm
I mean, it's
getting
called
that one.
Margaritaville.
I like that.
It's awesome.
Right?
Amy Lee Curtis, Madame Leota.
It's called Margaritaville. It exists.
Also, Jared
okay.
Leto is the Hatbox Ghost. I don't know how I feel about that.
He's always getting himself involved. You know how people like when they win the Royal Rumble, they point towards the WrestleMania banner
All the time.
tradition. So like when I go to Disney, I stand in the camera and I just point at the Tiki Room sign because that's where I'm heading, baby. Right to the Tiki Room.
Sending this out. Sending this as a special
I'm on the
request.
ropes. I'm like, yeah.
Sending out
The boys watched The Sandlot, and then James, who was petrified the entire season except with the last two games because he got hit a lot. He's a lefty, so he would get hit with a lot of pitches. After watching The Sandlot, he's pointing the outfield. He's caught. I'm like, who are you? Who are you? Stop it.
Great.
He's the great Hambino. Going outside just like I like it.
Forever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, I come prepared.
Have you just been saving that for like a year at this
He
point?
has. He's a little rusty. He was a little late with his. But
Wow.
I got all kinds of stuff in here. I got all kinds of stuff.
He has page after page.
I
after
do.
page.
They call them banks, actually.
Banks. So
Banks
sorry.
after banks.
That's all right.
I do have a quick question.
Wonderful.
Your money don't jiggle. It.
I-
Sorry.
Quick question about the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a trend similar to Animal Kingdom, where everyone's going on Pandora, the Flight of Passage, and so there's no line for Everest or Dinosaur for like the first 2-3 hours of the park being open? Is there anything happening with Epcot where, because everyone's going there, Frozen is open, Test Track's open, Mission
No.
Space. Not that those rides typically get super busy anyways, but
Not that we noticed. I think the
Big-
only other ride that usually has a crazy line is Frozen, and we don't really go there.
okay.
Is there a
Test-
standby line for Guardians?
No,
Not yet.
not right now. It's virtual or Lightning Lane only.
Yeah, so yeah.
And Remy is off the virtual. It was
So
right after Marathon Weekend.
Remy-
It got off the
Remy's was
virtual.
like 50 minutes or over an
Oh,
hour.
how was
all the
that
time.
anyway?
I was a little intoxicated when I did Remy's.
Oh no, you
so I
guys
remember
rode it in
parts of it.
January. You were telling me about it
Yeah,
actually.
we rode that. We didn't ride this trip. It was broken down a lot.
Mhm.
The days we were there, Remy's was broken down a lot.
That one's just kind of blah, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's just basic.
I don't
yeah.
remember.
Oh,
Test track was like 50 minutes all day. Frozen was.
I never
50,
ride Test
an hour
Track.
all day.
Whatever
was-
thing,
Soarin' was
direct
20 minutes.
cook.
It was-
Test track always seems like it takes forever to get on no matter what. Like I gotta have a fast pass. Well, I'm sorry, Genie Plus for Test Track, and it still seems like it takes forever to get on it. I don't know. I don't know what it is about that ride. I just doesn't do anything for me.
It's because you wait in that long line, then you got to go in the room. And
Yeah,
design a car.
exactly. Then you
So it's
gotta
just,
go
yeah.
around again, and
Then you gotta get in
you
a
finally
line.
get in. Not for me. It's just very underwhelming experience to me.
What's the virtual?
You?
Yeah.
That's when you go on your phone and you get into the virtual queue and they get a number or whatever or grouping,
boarding group.
a boarding group, if you will, and they
It's a
you know
lottery.
and you can
system,
keep track of it as the day goes on. So you get like boarding group 49 and it's on 1 through 12 and 12 to 24, whatever it is.
And they alert you,
So
they text
get
you.
called. Then you get an hour
Yeah.
to get there.
This way, instead of standing in line, you're out in the park spending money buying
So
snacks and
it's
souvenirs, and
essentially a fast pass because I mean I don't know how it was with
it's a
Guardians.
lottery
I know,
system.
I know at Rise of Resistance when your group got called, you got on pretty quick
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point. So
Yeah, you got on pretty quick.
yeah.
So far, 3 rides have been virtual queued. It started with Rise because of high demand, and then COVID,
Yeah.
and that kind of worked out
COVID.
well for them.
COVID.
So then it was Remy's. Remy's came off the virtual queue as Guardians went on.
Remy's came off.
And I imagine
Remy's
Tron
came
will
off the
be virtual
end of marathon.
It came out-
weekend.
this year. Yeah.
End of marathon.
There was no
weekend.
need for Remy to ever be on that thing. They would just
It was just
freak
because it
out.
was new. It was the newest ride in Epcot. And
Yeah,
now Guardians.
I get it, but Remy, I think everyone kind of knew Remy's was just going to be like a
Yeah.
D ticket attraction.
It was just so the line wouldn't be 6 hours long. That's all
Yeah.
it was.
I get it.
So it doesn't look bad saying they have a 6 hour. People are making people wait 6 hours for a ride.
We
Well,
should talk about-
Universal, Harry Potter's would give people, you had to have a stand in to use the bathroom.
let's talk about Universal getting. Rumor has it getting the rights to Lord of the Rings
I heard.
and how that's going to bury. Not going to bury, but it's going to put them right in the mix with Disney. If that is the truth.
There is something to be said about a fellowship. And I'm not just talking about the ring. I'm
Dude,
talking about
people people are dying for Lord of the Rings themed area
That's a
at a theme
following.
park. So
and honestly, the fact that, I mean, I love Harry Potter, but the fact that Harry Potter got a themed park then like before Lord of the Rings is weird to me.
well, Lord of the Rings didn't want to sell.
I don't think
Uh,
it's weird. I
The
mean,
Tolkien estate doesn't want to sell the right. Very hesitant to sell the rights.
also, I mean, look at the age groups that were fans of the.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, I think, takes a
Little older crowd.
little older crowd. You get the kids, because they're the ones who are going to buy or want to buy, the robes and the wands and everything. So I wasn't too surprised about it.
I don't know. I think Lord of the Rings is gonna be a big addition for them. Now you go to their parks, you get Nintendo, Lord of the Rings, Harry
know-
Potter.
I
pretty good.
recently saw a post. It's from a friend on Facebook. They live in Florida, and they're more into Universal now than Disney because of how Disney, number one, treats their annual pass holders. They've taken every perk away from being one, and just kind of in certain ways, the magic isn't there anymore. Is what they've said. And so they're spending their money and they're spending their time at Universal. and for many of the reasons that you just said.
Yeah. I mean, we got tickets this time around to go. And I don't know, when they open that new park, they're gonna be they're gonna be right there.
Yeah.
You know? And Disney's always gonna be Disney, but they're lacking in some ways. There's they got really good rides and a lot of underwhelming rides.
I think
I don't
they
know.
let it go on.
So does Universal, I
long.
guess, too.
Well, they let it go. So certain rides go way past their expiration.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're not adding. They've added. Don't get me wrong. They've added Star Wars and they've added Toy Story. They just added Guardians of the Galaxy. Awesome. But you're also taking away benefits. Yeah, the Magic Express is a huge benefit. That's what made you unique. That's one of the few destinations, other than maybe certain, some other tropical destinations, where you put a certain tag on your luggage and you don't see it until it's in your room. It's the little touches like that make a vacation.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I can't wait to see when Epic Universe comes out. I think it can only benefit Disney fans because they're gonna, if it does, I honestly hope it comes out and just absolutely scares the crap out of it. Like it does so well that it just forces their hand to do something else. That's what you want. But they got to stop making underwhelming lands. Like Star Wars is cool, but it's like
no one has heard anything about the
not as
Galactic
cool
Star Cruiser.
as it should have been. Like, I don't care if some people don't want to face the truth, but the reality is that Star Wars land is not as good as it could have been.
And that Galactic Star Cruiser that they had that huge price tag on, I've heard, aside from Media Day, no one's gone. No one's posting that they've been. I don't see any media for it.
People want to go into a movie. They don't want to go into a time period like, oh, here's a planet from the Star Wars universe, and you're going in this time period. People liked Harry Potter because you walked into Diagon Alley and you walked into the film.
Hollywood Studios is no longer a studio, which is what made people like it so much. You literally were in the movies.
You walk
your
in.
Stunt shows, your backlot tours, your props, all of that.
So I would have rather have walked into the hangar from Yavin 4 in the original Star Wars movie, or whatever names, whatever. Endor, whatever. Not, oh, here's Batu. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but it's like there, but it's just not where it could be. That's what I don't know how to explain it.
Rid of the great movie ride.
No, I just saw an awesome video. I just sent it to you, Lansing. This guy, Poseidon Entertainment, he makes a lot of videos about Disney and Universal, but I think he's more like partial Universal. But anyway, long story short, he had a really good video essay about why Universal needs to think about taking the concept of the great movie ride themselves and putting like Back to the Future and Ghostbusters, because people are going so nuts for those properties, even though they don't really have anything representing them in the parks. He's like, they should have their own version of the great movie ride. People would go nuts for it.
Did you hear that there's going to be a 2023 DeLorean release that's all electric?
That's cool.
I did hear.
That sucker's electrical.
Mr. Fusion.
Hopefully it, works better than the original DeLoreans that came out.
A plutonium.
But there's like,
no.
I think the great movie ride is one of the top 5 greatest dark ride concepts of all time.
Yeah.
And like, they probably should come back in some kind of way, shape, or form. It's kind of the stupidest thing ever to get rid of it.
Were you team gangster or team cowboy?
I don't think I ever, other than YouTube videos, I don't think I ever got to experience the cowboy break live. I'm trying to think.
I don't think so.
No, I did once. I did
always
once.
got the gangster.
You're the gangster.
I think so.
But I
We
was
go on it all the
fortunate-
time, so we've had them both.
I was fortunate enough, and I mentioned this when Johnny and I did a podcast with another podcast, Stephen. Not another Disney podcast. We were
How
talking
much
about
betrayal can I take in an hour?
we were talking about we did a whole episode on the great movie ride, and I happened to go to MGM Studios on the early stages, like first 3 or 4 months, and I got to actually see the first scene spin out of the water. because you know how they put like the netting over with the strobe lights or whatever they did. Not strobe lights, but like they had like it was just chintzy B mode stuff. I got to actually witness that in the A mode, so that was kind of my Disney claim to fame. But that only lasted like a year, you know, and then they had to do away with it because it kept malfunctioning. They were having a problem with the water. But that ride is great, and it remains one of my top Disney rides of all time. I don't know. It's sad that it's gone. I don't even know how we get on this topic, but it's sad that it's gone. I can sit here and talk about it all day.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Very upset. All they had to do was go with the damn thing and just do new scenes and stuff.
Everything's fine.
I want some bonus points for reframing from doing my Christopher Lloyd impression when talking about Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, you didn't. That's very great Scott. Unlike you. It's like what? Oh, it's like where was I going? You made me lose my train of thoughts.
Everything's fine.
It's so true too. Oh yeah, is the Wizard of Oz ever going to be represented well enough in a theme park ever again now? You know, after that, that was so awesome. And the Wizard of Oz by right should have its own ride somewhere. The whole damn movie should be a book report style dark ride with scenes like they had with the Wicked Witch of the of the West. I was going to say East, and the East is good, but that ride is. I think we'll have to do an episode one day where we start the episode live on YouTube. We watch a ride through of the Great Movie Ride. And then we can sit here discuss it.
Kind of branching off of that, I think they could do a similar ride, to Great Movie Ride, where maybe they do a lot of more of the musical like great movie songs,
Berkeley,
like great movie songs. So you would have you would have Wizard of Oz and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or anything like that. That these songs have
Singing in the Rain,
but through history.
But if they made it to the other thing is if they were to redesign it again, I think you would be able to do it where you could plan for the future. So I'm going to make these scenes, but I'm going to know that eventually these are going to have to be changed out. And so I will build them in such a way where it's easy to do. So you don't shut down for a year and change 3 or 4 scenes. You don't shut down at all. You just figure out a way to get in there and to change one, just change one movie and then another one. You know what I mean? And it just never stops. But now it's gone. It's gone and it ain't coming back.
I'm wondering too, and I was kind of thinking about this
Too bad.
a couple of weekends ago when we went to Hollywood Studios, is you have Star Tours, which has kind of it's not the latest and the greatest, but it has managed to hold its own. It's still bringing in visitors. They updated it and added the roulette of different scenarios and videos, and it's still managing to be current. And in a storyline like Star Wars, you have that option to kind of branch out and not retell stories, but tell new stories and add new stories that may not necessarily have happened in the actual series. Stop it. But it works. It all jives within the land of Star Wars. If they did something along that same attraction vehicle where you have you don't leave, but you're just kind of all over. If they did something like that and they kind of did something similar with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, when you go into those little, little nooks after.
I know what you're talking about.
When they're under the water. Yeah. After the little dancing room. And they kind of gave you almost that same feeling, that immersive, we're moving. If they could do something like that and kind of pair that with Great Movie Ride, like you're saying, they don't necessarily have to shut down the ride and redo tracks and get new props and new this. They could program the movements to pair with a new video, but still keep it current. So it's only a weekend while you're testing and updating and putting all this new program. I don't know. It's not the most exciting, and it doesn't need a whole ton of space because you have one building. It's not like you need a huge space for a roller coaster. It's not like you need a huge space for a safari. It's a building, which we do have Muppet Vision 3D. I love it, but you got this huge building. It could be along those lines, and you could get something, a great movie ride. You could put Star Tours there in that style. And then, I don't know. It was a thought, like old meets new, East and West. I don't know.
Muppet Vision's time is ticking away soon.
It also bothers me at the very end of Muppet Vision that Sweetums is on the screen and still in the building with you, directly in front of you after finding Bean Bunny, and there's Sweetums on the screen and in the theater with you. Is Sweetums like a Yeti? Like there's only one of him? Is he like a Wookiee? Where there's a whole breed of them? One Sweetums, one on the screen, one in the building. Drives me nuts.
There's a continuity issue there.
Festering for years.
That's why the ride's going to be gone soon.
Yeah, that's why.
They should tear that ride down and build
Something.
great movie rides starring the Muppets, the original concept.
Can you imagine if the Muppets were all the characters? Piggy is Leia.
Yeah, I mean,
Kermit is Han.
Well, Kermit was Luke Skywalker in the Muppet Babies version.
I have the money. I don't have it with me. Yeah.
Muppet are back.
That whole Muppet area is going to be done soon. That's too bad. And it's probably going to end up being Galaxy's Edge stuff.
It's
Because it
slowly
just
going to
seems-
leak out of that tunnel.
Mhm.
I mean, they're not going to just stop Galaxy's Edge right now, like where it is.
And they can't go back any further.
They need to tear down that stupid hotel. that
Side
thing
note,
sucks.
Be nice if
Or just make it part of the land.
You hear me, Disney? It sucks.
Mickey's
I said it.
Philharmonic could use a little extra.
They did update the PhilharMagic. If you were not aware, apparently there was a huge brawl last week, 2 weeks
Oh
ago.
yeah,
because
baby.
someone cut in front of someone else in line for PhilharMagic. Full on, like
Out of all the rides.
Yeah.
Like it's an auditorium. You're gonna get it.
PhilharMagic. Because
Randy,
they
go
cut
on
in line.
YouTube. Go on YouTube and look up
Multiple
Fantasyland Brawl.
families and they're matching mom, dad, bro, sis, like those shirts.
I don't like it seems like I've read a couple of headlines about Disney
They're
where
not favorable.
there's been some brawls.
People are
And-
exhausted. The money's getting drained from 24 hours straight.
Well, I think that's part of it. I mean, to be honest with you, meaning there is now there's so much pressure to have the most perfect vacation because you're paying for it. Like if you pay a couple grand to go to Bahamas, what's the expectation? I'm going to sit on a beach and drink, and that's it.
Get your hair braided.
That's it. Eat nice and easy, right? And buy some Cuban cigars, which are not real Cuban cigars because they know they're going to take a stupid American on paying $20, $30 for a cigar that's not real Cuban. Here nor there. But it's very short.
Salty.
Sorry. It's a very short list of what you're going to do. Disney, you have about 500 things that you have to plan, and people feel like if they don't get each and every single one for what I'm paying, then tempers flare.
Well, someone had posted on it that they feel like Disney's, raising prices. They're trying to price out the riffraff. And I'm like, I don't think you understand that wealthy people can have temper tantrums too.
I work in customer service. They're the ones who have the worst temper tantrums.
Always looking to see the manager.
Always. The best was when the manager
I
sided.
don't know. Disney is just like,
Yeah.
it's like, those weeks you have sometimes in life where you're like, oh, Monday happens and like something costs you some money. Then all of a sudden you're like, something happens to the car. You got to bring that in. That's another $500. And something happens. Everyone's had those weeks. That's what the Disney vacation is now. It's like, okay,
It's a week.
$75 to go on Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, I gotta pay for this. Oh, I gotta pay to get to the hotel. Oh, I better pay for that. Oh, by the time the end goes, the average middle class American is like looking at the wallet, like, am I even gonna be able to afford to get to the airport to get home?
Mhm.
At some point, the fever has to break, doesn't it? I mean, I don't
It's
know.
hot,
But people are still paying the prices. They're not going to lower anything
But they're
because
gonna
how many
brawl,
people are
baby.
That's
still
what I'm
paying?
saying. Like at some point, this fever has to break, and the numbers have to go down, right? At some point.
Yes. At some point, yes.
I get a military discount. Even at my military discount, it's pushing my budget to its absolute. I'm a teacher. We don't make a lot of money.
No.
We really don't. And so I keep it for middle class family. If you do go, number one, you're saving up for probably more than a year. But number two, there's just so much pressure that your kids are going to see Main Street and they're going to light up.
Mhm.
I've seen parents get ticked at their child because they fell asleep like as they're waiting to go into Magic Kingdom. I remember vividly, first thing this kid's probably off of their sleeping schedule. She's first of all, it's a sleeping kid. That's the best kind of kid. They're sleeping. They're quiet. What the hell are you doing? Go on a ride. Right? So they got so upset at this poor 5-year-old or 6, whatever she was, because she's asleep and they're not having this magic moment upon entering Disney like they saw in the commercials.
And it's not just the children who have the temper tantrums.
No, it's also, well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, someone did cut me in line and I really wanted a Mickey bar. So there were words.
This guy loves a good Mickey bar.
In
Always
full
bringing up the Mickey
disclosure,
bars.
while we were there not this past weekend, but this past trip, we also were cut in line at Mickey's PhilharMagic.
Johnny probably started that brawl.
I wanted to get real
Just
petty. I was
somebody
like,
walked
this
away.
woman is seriously cutting ahead in this line.
I needed to get in to see Coco.
I enjoy
What
the
line?
new.
It's Mickey's PhilharMagic. There's a line.
No,
He's a
the
crowd of
line-
people, they shuffle
The
into a
line
theater.
was getting the glasses, the 3D glasses.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we were way too slow.
Very loudly made a comment
People
that
are-
she needed to get by us.
People are
I
ridiculous.
was like, ma'am.
to then stand right behind when we walked down and just stood at the door like you're supposed to behind
Yeah.
the other line. Then she was standing behind us. So,
Mhm.
I-
But
I
then,
mean,
you're
what she
supposed to move
decided
all
is
the way
to-
down, stopped in the middle of the row. I'm
Yeah,
like,
well, whatever.
I wanted to get petty, and then I realized that it's not worth ruining my vacation. So, in the words of Elsa, I let it go. I
Not
didn't
anymore.
think,
It's full on
It's
war.
like
when you go-
subtle.
It's full on war when you go to this Disney Fight Club now.
but it was funny because a friend of mine, she's a parent in the building that we work at now. She sent me a video of like it going around Facebook. And she's like, Sarah, I know you would have had that handled. You get a restraint and you get a restraint. Everybody gets restrained. And I was like, I'm on vacation. I'm not restraining anybody unless they're near my kids. And then I'll restrain them. It's my vacation. I'm not touching anyone.
I think we just start going to like Aruba or something and just drink on a beach.
You what? Stacey's too loud.
I was saying just that I think people should just start going to like Aruba and drink on a beach.
That's where I'm at with this.
Oh, we're screen sharing. Oh, this is it. This is the fight in front of PhilharMagic.
Happy. Look at him.
I don't remember if there was language in this, so mute is a good.
All
Welcome
Yeah.
to the happiest place on earth, everyone.
They got all
Oh,
the,
Puppy
matching,
Dukes.
the matching shirts on. It's very nice.
Yeah. It's like shirts and skins. You can tell the size of this one. Matching and not.
Oh, someone's got a haymaker. Ah, yeah.
That woman has a child hanging from around her neck.
That's all right. Kick and fight too. This guy's
Scrappy
gonna
do.
fight you with a dad pack on. You want some?
Cooler. He's
Ooh.
trying to be the peacemaker at the moment.
And it was just one poor.
That guy. Why is this guy being restrained over here? What's he gonna do?
I just love that. I just love that dad coming out with the backpack, like, oh, what's going on?
And
Wait a
there's
minute,
this
wait a minute,
this
wait a minute.
jamoke
This
Wait a
guy
minute.
filming
recording it.
Have you ever seen a person that pretends like they want to fight, like to be a tough guy, but they really don't want to fight?
Are you not aware of the building that Lansy and I worked in?
They're just doing that. So here's this guy right
They're
here.
doing it because there's
Hold me
staff there to
back.
break it up.
Go hold me back.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna do anything.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. Oh, this guy's like, I'm gonna film it because I mean that's what people do.
He looks like he's being held back to fight.
Well, this guy's getting mad.
Whoop,
Yep.
whoop.
What?
There we go.
Then it's like the mosh pit thing. Oh, I
Like,
dropped
what
my
is
phone. I
even
dropped my phone.
happening right now?
And this poor cast member is just staying there. She has no idea what to do.
Oh, this guy,
No.
look, he's still acting like he's gonna do
So
this.
now she goes over to the one who's away from everyone instead of the bustling over here.
Why go?
You know
to
what
the-
though? That's probably safest.
How are you this fired up right now?
It's like, that's it.
Oh, cast members came in.
You guys,
Couple
you guys
more.
go to Aladdin. You guys.
Yeah, you guys go to the tiki room.
You guys get a fast pass to Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Everyone here is going to ride that
Push and
carousel
throw
until
around,
you
no
fall
kidding.
off. My God.
That's fine.
Mhm. Foolishness.
That was totally worth watching.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like, I can see Lansy getting heated like that outside the tiki room.
No more clicking.
All I need is a Mickey bar and I'm fine.
I
All
tried
is
to
good in
get
England.
I tried to get popcorn coming off of Pirates, but it had just been a rainstorm, so that little cart just outside was still closed down. So it was awful. I had to go on the side of Tiki Boom and get myself a.
Did you brawl?
No, I did not.
If you're not brawling in Disney at this point, you're just not doing Disney right. That's where I'm at. I gotta get into a brawl.
I saw that video and I was thrown back to like our honeymoon when Johnny told me I needed to stop talking and I needed to pose for a picture with like the Cinderella in the springs because I was getting mouthy and I was like testy with this person and he's like, "You need a timeout. Go take a picture with the princess or something." Like, stop it. Rough. You never know.
I think we're gonna end here.
On a
I'm glad,
happy note.
I'm glad the brawl came up because Steven hadn't witnessed it, and so he was able to.
Well, happy
With
note,
that.
the second season of Mighty Ducks is coming out in September.
About time. I've been waiting
Game changer.
patiently for that.
Take you.
What movie was he in? We just watched it with that kid.
Oh, that Kevin James movie.
Yeah, he was in the one about Sean Payton. Yeah,
Yes.
I,
Yes,
wa-
yes.
it was all right. I watched it.
I was like, hey,
That guy in the brawl off to the side is
Well, local,
thinking about him. It's cracking me up. Don't
Local-
let me go
local,
get him.
local kids directed that movie. Kids right from down the street directed that movie. Written Adamsville, Little Compton area.
oh, right.
Oh yeah.
They
Big
did,
hullabaloo.
yeah, they did a bunch of stuff with Kevin James on his YouTube page too.
Mighty Ducks is that guy pulled a Goldberg actually because remember the was it D2 where Goldberg's like let me at him, let me in. He's like he'll kill you. He's like just pretend like I want to fight.
Yeah.
That's what that guy was doing. I think he might have been the guy. I you know how that girl threw the haymaker? Was it him that she hit? Because it's tough to
maybe.
see it. I think he might have got hit. He was pretty fired up. And then they all got a Mickey bar and everyone calmed down.
They got a little hangry.
Yeah.
You know, I just remember what my old high school studies of war teacher used to say. The world's gone to hell and we all need therapy.
Yeah.
A man ahead of his time.
He was the best. That
How are there not more brawls at Epcot? People are getting hammered.
Because at that point, you're just like, nah, I'll have another drink.
That's not how that usually goes.
I mean, you might as well.
People walk into trees. They disappear for quite some time. Not like I'm speaking from experience or anything, gentlemen.
I think you guys should, maybe not this episode, but a different podcast, should rate your favorite drinks.
Yes. I'm down for it.
It'll be the Alka podcast.
yeah,
Don't
You could do
listen
that.
on an empty stomach.
Rate
that's
favorite-
doable. There's lots of drinks.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's very, very possible.
about?
I think it'll be a great, because there are different drinks. And all I know Morocco has great beer. It's a good sample. And then I know obviously Germany has great beer, but other than that, I don't know too much. So
Yeah.
I think that'd
Morocco,
be-
Morocco
it'd be
used to have
pretty
an awesome drink. They got rid of it though.
Oh,
They have a Margarita. Is that what you're talking about?
Margarita, yeah.
Yeah, their version margarita. Although I did just
Disney.
hear in the realm of alcoholic beverages that Art of Animation's the pool bar. Oh my god, what's it called? Yes, Art of Animation's
Drop
bar.
off.
Drop off. Thank you. They are serving an alcoholic, I think it's rum, with Pog juice as a slushy. Now they took Pog off the menu from Tusker House because the distributor wasn't making it anymore. And the drop off has an alcoholic slushy version. And now I'm pumped. to go back in a few weeks.
Okay.
All you got to do is cross
Yeah.
the lake.
Cross over the lake, get myself a little pog juice, get on the skyline, and go to the parks.
There you go. I'm getting me an avocado margarita. I know that.
Yup.
Add one of those.
A violet sake.
I love me an avocado margarita.
Oh, it's so good. La Cava de Tequila at St. Lansing in
And
Mexico.
after I have a couple of those, I'm gonna go start a brawl.
Right
You
in
gotta
front-
cut someone in line first.
Go do it right in front of Frozen.
And then when they get mad, say, let it go. Let it go.
No, I'm not gonna be in the brawl. I'm going to start it, then I'm gonna get back on my phone and record. One of those situations like in the cartoon.
Little
where there's
fire
a
setter,
cloud,
like
then Bugs Bunny comes walking out and he's just watching, even though he started it. One of those type of things. That guy cut you. Who? Him.
That guy.
Think about all the money you spent. All right. This kid is out. These kids are out.
Oh.
It was good to be back.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be back next week. That's
Stop
the
it.
plan.
We need
This
to
is,
do that.
this is the plan. Wednesday night works pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, this Wednesday anyway. See what happens next Wednesday. But
And I
Yeah,
appreciate
alright.
you guys telling me how a Disney trip.
And we're going, we leave the 19th. So
Yeah.
we'll have like a full report instead of
Do
just.
they send you the magic bands in the mail still?
Oh, my friend.
oh,
Those are no longer complimentary.
Landy.
As long as you want to spend money in purchase.
No, no,
they'll
no.
Send you anything.
So now,
Can you read
if
the
you-
old one?
Yeah, order one. They'll send you to.
so your old ones will still work. You can do Magic Mobile, which is getting your pass on your phone or your Apple Watch. Or, and we just bought these. This is really where we should close because this is happier news than people fighting in the happiest place on earth. That's also very expensive.
Well,
They have Magic Band Plus because Fast Pass Plus, Genie Plus. So Johnny has it because he is updating
Johnny
it.
has it all ready to go.
Lansy, we'll meet for dinner or something and we'll go over this.
It's the same exact
I'll
thing.
take notes.
It just lights
Except
up.
it has lights and haptics.
Hold on, let me see if I
It
can get
interacts with the Fab 50, those golden statues that are in the 4 parks for the 50th anniversary.
It's not lighting up.
You like wave and make motions. It sets off like
Like
music
money.
or talking. It vibrates with the haptics.
Is it gonna make me waffles or pancakes? Because that's the only, like, if I'm paying for it.
Right. No, it doesn't make you waffles or pancakes. It doesn't get you a lightning lane, but you can catch bounties in Batu with it.
I
You
seriously
can-
do.
You can play games.
Oh, in that case.
There you go.
Oh wow.
It also interacts. Hold it down a little bit more.
I did. Oh, it just.
I should ask, how much is it?
There you go. Lights
If
up.
you have a resort stay, I believe they're 35. If you
Oh,
just buy them through Shop
Jesus.
Disney, they are 45.
And-
If you buy them in store.
And you have to
Oh,
charge.
here's the
now,
charger.
too. They give you a charger.
Just kill me.
So they say the battery
Jeez.
lasts 1 to 3 days, depending on use. The more you use it, obviously, the faster it will go. We watched a lot of that. We bought them the day they came out because we've been kind of anticipating their release for a while. We have a trip coming up. They were being released right before. So I bought Johnny and mine because we have the annual passes. We had bands that we could order right away. So I ordered some for us. Those haven't come in. An hour and a half later, open general public on Shop Disney. I ordered those 2 for the boys. James wanted Grogu. I think John got the partner statue.
Change the
Those
colors.
came in today. When we were watching the bloggers,
Change the colors.
yep, you can change the color scheme. It interacts with your nighttime spectaculars as well. They're going to add more things in, but this is the start. It's still your regular Magic Band. You can charge to it. It opens your door, your reservations, any Fast Pass Lightning Lane, that's all on there too. So
For
regular Magic
$35.
Band for $35. Yep.
Well, the regular Magic Bands are $35 too. If
Yes.
depending on if you want a
A design or a
if you
plain,
want a-
Solid color.
well, the plain ones are $10.
Mhm.
The plain colors are $10 if you have a resort stay. And then if you want a design like, I don't know, what do we have?
Epcot, the
Like
patterns.
the 50th anniversary one was probably like $35 regular. That's just a plain Magic Band. So in the grand scheme of things, these are actually not horribly priced for what you were just paying for a regular Magic Band. They should technically be, because they interact, they should be like $50-$60, but
Yeah, but
Yep.
yeah.
it's like
We should probably have a show on how to save money in the parks.
I'm literally One of my bucket list things has been to like, drink around the world. I just think it'd be cool, throughout the day, so I don't get, I don't want to be on the news being let out of Disney, like Tom Brady after winning a Super Bowl. Just a little avocado tequila. I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like, I'm not going to have the money.
Drinking around the world will cost you $200
for one person.
Easily.
And it's now officially off of my bucket list.
Yeah.
It's still less than building a
$200?
lightsaber.
I mean,
if you wanted to drink around the world, it'll probably cost you about $200, I would say.
Is that what it costs?
Is
Yeah.
12? There's 12. There's 12,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
12 stops.
I
Yeah,
got you.
and each drink is going to be at least
If
10.
if you get a beer, you're better. If you drink a beer, to
Cheaper.
everyone, you won't. But if you get a mixed drink, an avocado margarita was $18, I think.
Yeah, I
17
know. Yeah,
bucks.
that I know.
Yeah.
The last time
mean-
I did it, I had beers. I think it was lower end of 100. I thought, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Either
the
way,
beers, if you figure $10 a beer, so it's about 120. But the mixed drinks are just going to cost you.
I would split it, and I'd be happy doing that.
And then if you
The
do it
first
during a
time I did
fest,
around
if
the
you do
world
it-
showcase, I split drinks with my mom, and
but
it
if-
was
but
enough.
If you do it during festival time too,
Yeah, this
you can
festival
buy
booth.
yourself a little something to eat too.
But I guess my point, like,
And dumplings.
that's something I want to do. But after I've paid for the room, I paid for my transportation,
Mhm.
I paid for a band, I've paid to have a fast pass, I've paid to have a lightning pass, I've paid to have a up your
Mickey bar.
whatever pass. All right.
You haven't
After all,
paid
and
enough.
then, by the way, if you're staying at a resort and you want to eat, and those pancakes are like $18 because apparently they have gold in the pancakes. Like,
And they're not bringing dining plans back.
like after all of that, then it's like, okay, do you want to drink around the world? Do you want to go to the sci-fi diner? It's like, I can't.
do you want to
afford-
pay? Do you want to pay your mortgage?
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna have to fake my own death just to get the insurance money so I can afford the trip.
I think us buying, so during COVID, the shutdown, Johnny and I did a virtual drink around the world showcase at home. We made a drink from each country. The boys did flags. We, did stuff on YouTube, ride throughs and all that. And we made a day of it. I think buying all the ingredients for the food and the drinks, which a lot of stuff Johnny had to order online through Amazon.
Right.
I think that was probably cheaper
Yeah, of course.
than
Yeah, of course it was.
World Showcase. And that was food and drinks. We made poutine, we made Chinese food, we had all kinds of stuff.
I bought like
They brawled?
that beer I drink from France, that Kronenberg. I bought that. What does that cost?
gross.
10, 11 bucks probably for a beer at France. I bought a 4-pack probably for $14. So it's like I got four beers for $3 more.
The Hefeweizen, I mean, we drink that anyway, but you bought that violet sake online. And I think the entire bottle, which you don't use the whole thing in one drink, the entire bottle was the cost of one drink.
Yeah, probably so.
So maybe we should do another drink around World Showcase,
What's that?
virtual. Maybe.
Live stream.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think I
We
should.
could. We could do that.
Okay.
And then we brawl. Imagine the three of us just vanished off the screen for like an hour, and then all of a sudden, like we're in the background of Landsy's, and everyone's just brawling.
First time Lansy's been in the house, so that was a sleepover. Let me tell you something about Walt.
I'm all about Disney brawls now.
So we live in a neighborhood
So
that's
stupid.
affectionately called Garden Heights. And during COVID, we talked about, because of how our neighborhood is designed, there's only 2 streets that lead out of this kind of square neighborhood. It's like a waffle, but there's 2 streets. One leads to a main road and one leads to a side road that will take you to another main road. So a friend of mine lives down a few houses down from us, and she said they should close off those 2 endpoints, those entry points, and just let us walk around and socialize outdoors, because that was the safe place to be when COVID, the shutdown first happened. We should be allowed to have open containers and call it the Beer Garden Heights. And I was like, that's brilliant. We'll be like roaming buffaloes with our beverages in Beer Garden Heights.
Do it every Halloween.
I was just gonna say that you basically just described Halloween up there, but
They don't shut that off, and that's not sanctioned by the
And there's
police.
usually a couple of cops driving around too, but I'm pulling my little wagon with a cooler full of beer. Nobody says a thing to me.
The worst.
guy's trying to lure you into his house and give you beverages.
Yeah.
Yeah, we-
the adults go
Adult
around back at the
trick-or-treaters?
bar to get to the.
Don't
adult
drink too
bar.
much because that'll be an awkward argument. What they give you? Taffy. All right.
It's a liqueur.
Oh,
Everything's fine.
boy.
So you're the one giving that rubber, circus peanut.
I hate those things. Are so gross.
Only the
All
worst.
right.
Okay, for
We're
real.
out of here.
For real life.
We're out of here on that note. If the guy, if by some 1 in a quadrillion billion chance that guy who was trying to pretend like he wanted to fight in the brawl is listening to this podcast, we will be more than happy to have you on for an interview, because that was one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's enticing him to come onto the show right now. Turd.
Well, I want him to come on and defend himself.
Well, he didn't do too good of a job in the fight.
I'm pretty
I know
sure
you-
he whispered to the other guy, "I'll never let go, Jack."
I don't know. Something was. I don't know what that guy was doing, but I'll tell you what he wasn't doing. He was not participating in that brawl.
He's 50 feet away. Let me at him. I got it.
I got him.
I don't care that he's bigger than me.
I've seen every
Oh.
Rocky movie.
Kentucky Fried Idiot.
You want to come in the line?
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Off the rails. So sorry.
Let me reiterate: like, share, subscribe, brawl. Do what you got to do.
No.
Or pretend like you want to.
Next week maybe we'll discuss some more things from Sarah and Johnny's trip, considering we only touched upon a very limited amount in this one. And then the week after that, I think they're off again. So we're gonna have all kinds of Disney stories to tell come mid to late September.
Yeah.
But
September.
anyway, I am going to bed now, and I will talk to all you guys. Well, when I say all you guys, the audience, real soon.